Mountains rise on every hand in the little country of Switzerland. Railways to villages in the Swiss Alps must toil up long and steep inclines, while higher still loom lofty peaks where snow and ice never melt. Heavy banks of cloud mist cling to the mountainside as the car nears the end of its long, slow climb. To this little Alpine village, the car brings many visitors, for Switzerland is known the world over as an attractive vacation land. New arrivals are always welcome, for many of the people of the village make a living supplying the needs of the tourists. Here on a fence along the main village street, a Swiss boy and girl have stopped to watch the newcomers as they pass along, followed by carts bringing their baggage from the station. Trudy Nageli is the girl's name. Her brother's name is Hans. The Nageli children often linger in the village when they come in to buy supplies, especially during the summer when there is no school. Today, on their way home, they stop in front of the shop of a village woodcarver. Among the many carvings is a figure of William Tell, the famous Swiss hero. There are carvings of cattle, too. Cattle, so important to the people of this mountainous little country. And now, Hans and Trudy decide to go inside the store. They always like to see the odd little clocks, cuckoo clocks of all shapes and sizes. But the clocks remind them that they must hurry home. It will soon be time for lunch. Near the Nageli home, Grandfather is working, spreading the freshly cut grass to dry in the warm sunshine. He asks how many visitors have arrived.
Hat's veel Leute in Dorf?
Da zie je nou zoveel wie gäste, Grossi.
About the same as usual, Grandfather.
Morgen geht auf die Alp.
Kom meer wij plezieren,
The
Hans.
children are excited. Grandfather has told them that tomorrow they're going to the upper pasture, where Father and Brother Hermann are tending the cows and making cheese.
Gaan we op de Alp? Is het warm, Mutti?
Ja, wenn gut sieht.
They are going to make the trip far up the mountainside where the village cows are taken to graze. This is a journey which the children are always eager to make.
Het is niet Rohan. Jawel, appa.
Having tended the fire in the stove, Mother begins preparing for the trip. From the smoke room upstairs, she selects a slab of bacon. Father and Hermann will need fresh supplies of food. "12 o'clock. The radio brings them music from the outside world while they eat their lunch of soup, milk, bread, and the cheese for which the Swiss people are famous. High above the Nageli home are the pastures of thick, tender grass, where the village cows are taken to graze in the summertime. Here in the high Alps, Father Nageli, like other Swiss herdsmen, tends the cows, which help provide a living for village families. Every day after milking, Father takes the milk to the mountain hut, where he makes it into cheese. Hermann, the older brother of Hans and Trudy, helps his father with the work. Today he is harvesting hay, which will be stored for the cows to eat during the winter. In front of the mountain hut where they spend the summer, Father Nageli scours the copper cheese kettle until it is clean and shiny. Cheese making is an important part of the summer work in the upper pastures. The large quantities of fresh milk would soon become sour, but cheese made from the milk will keep fresh a long time. Into the milk, as it heats over the fire, Father places a thermometer from time to time. When the milk is just hot enough, he adds a liquid which causes it to curdle. The curds become thicker and thicker as Father continues the stirring, finally forming a soft cheese. Then Father Nagely puts this into a mold to press it. He squeezes out the liquid part, which is called whey, and the cheese becomes more solid. Day in and day out, cheese like this is made in the mountains of Switzerland. Much of the cheese is finally sold to people in faraway lands. Early in the morning, Mother and Hans and Trudy are ready for their long climb from the village to the upper pasture. They pack up the supplies, which Father and Hermann will be glad to receive. Grandfather is too old to climb, so he stays at home. Many years ago, when he was young and active, Grandfather enjoyed mountain climbing even as Hans and Trudy do now. Up they go, past the family vegetable garden, up the path lined with flowers, which leads to the summer pasture high above. On the slopes, other villagers are harvesting hay. They will use it to feed their cows in winter. As soon as the hay is cut and has dried in the warm sunshine, it is raked into piles. This hay is important. Hay means winter food for the cows, and cows help to support the village. The climb is steadily upward. Already the village has been left far below. But the journey is a long one. Often the climb is very steep through banks of delicate alpine flowers. Parts of the journey lead through cool pine groves. Although the trees grow tall and stately here, at a short distance higher up, the slopes will stretch upward to the high mountain tops where it is too cold for trees to grow. Now, a rest is both welcome and wise, a breathing spell while seated on the soft grass, for there is even steeper climbing ahead. Trudy asks how much longer they must climb.
Wie lang geht's noch, Mutti?
Up eine Stunde.
About an hour, Mother says. And now Trudy's climbing shoes feel heavier than ever.
Alle Kinder, du sich ist fabelhaft hier.
While Mother and the children rest, they view the snow-capped peaks of the Alps which tower all around them. Some of them are over 2 miles high. It is time to continue the journey. As Mother has said, they must climb for another long hour before they reach the upper pasture where Father and Hermann are working. Even here on the higher slopes, the hay harvest goes on. Still nearer the top of the slope, Father and Hermann continue their round of work. They cannot go far away from the cattle they have brought to the summer pasture, and so they may not return to the village again until the winter snows are close at hand. Winter snows that will completely cover their mountain hut. That is why the visits of Mother and the children are so welcome. Their arrival means not only a pleasant family reunion, but also fresh supplies of food for Father and Hermann. Father is very glad to see the newspaper, too, for even here in his high mountain hut, he follows the news of the world. And now for a meal together near the hut. Hermann enjoys Mother's fresh bread. The cheese is good, too. Trudy is thirsty after the long climb, and Hans has his usual good appetite. There is plenty of fresh milk to drink, and plenty of bread and cheese. The Nagely family are glad to be together again, here in the summer pastures, amid the silent mountains with their glistening snows and drifting clouds. It is peaceful, high in the rugged mountains of Switzerland.